9 Sports.
What's poppin', Siouxland? Happy Thanksgiving. Welcome back to sports. In case you somehow missed Thanksgiving football games today, and you probably haven't because you're watching the last one right now instead of us. If not, don't worry. I got the highlights for you right here. Let's kick things off in Detroit as the Lions hosted the Packers. Both teams looking for their 8th win and a possible lead in the NFC North. Packers would hold the first lead with a field goal, but Jordan Love would find Dontavion Wicks in the end zone. He would make an excellent grab, keeping the feed in to make it a 10-point game. Now on the ensuing drive, Lions looking to answer, puts David Montgomery, Wildcat. He'd burst up the middle, get the scoring going for Detroit. Packers lead 10-7. Fast forward to the end of the third quarter, though, Love would hit Wicks again, who would fight his way into the end zone to make it a 10-point game. Packers would hold off a late Lions push to win the first game of the holiday slate, 31-24. Now, after a quick food run, fans caught the Chiefs taking on the Cowboys in Dallas. These two teams both coming off huge comeback wins last week, hoping to keep the momentum up on Thanksgiving. That interception would set up Kansas City to score on a wide receiver screen to Rashee Rice. He'd take it 27 yards to the end zone for the game's first score. In the end of the first, Chiefs go for it on 4th and goal. Mahomes would hit Travis Kelce in the back of the end zone to make it a 14-7 ball game. But skipped late to the fourth quarter, Kansas City down 10, knocking on the door, and Hollywood Brown with a toe tap on Turkey Day. This would make it a 3-point game, but it was not enough. The Cowboys would hold off the Chiefs to win 31-28. And, of course, the last game on the menu was the Bengals and the Ravens. Ravens trying their best to hold on to the AFC North lead, but with the return of Joe Burrow, that may be on the line. Last check, Bengals were up 29-14 in the fourth quarter. Also, finally, congratulations to former Musketeers coach Luke Strand, as he was honored as the 2025 LG Life's Good Coaches Award winner. The award focuses on highlighting NCAA coaches that foster mental health awareness and create a supportive environment for their student athletes. Strand coached Sioux City to a 202-159 record in his 2 stints with the Muskies. He now is coaching the number 14 Minnesota State men's hockey team to an 8-2-4 record. Congratulations, Coach. Let's start in Lincoln, where the Huskers hosted Iowa. Reporter David Warrington has more.
It's been a decade of dominance for Iowa against Nebraska. The Hawkeyes entered today's matchup having won 9 of 10 against the Cornhuskers. Of course, many of those games came down to a last-second winning field goal for the Hawkeyes, but not this time. Iowa pulls away to dominate the second half for a 40-16 victory as they've won 10 of 11, a dominant win over the Cornhuskers.
After that first quarter, we kind of really took it away, and the defense locked in a little bit. We were able to kind of run with it. We had a great pass game. We had a great pass game when we needed it. Kamari was really running it well. The line was doing a great job up front, and I feel like we were consistent throughout the entire game, which when we're a consistent team, we're a really tough team to beat.
Just coming out and being more physical in the second half. We said it was a 0-0 ball game, and we came out and executed on both sides and ended up winning like that, and it's awesome to see a crowd clear out like that when you're playing away.
It feels great. You know, it's a great opportunity just for me and just for the offensive line, just showing that we could do it, and it just feels good coming out with the win.
This game was special for all of the Hawkeyes, but certainly nobody more so than Aaron Graves, as he became a father less than 24 hours before this football game kicked off. Graves' wife gave birth to a healthy baby boy, Grayson, at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Quite the 24 hours for the Graves family leading up to this big win over the Cornhuskers.
Now, neither team is in the conference championship, but they are both bowl eligible, and now wait to see where they land. But it wasn't just college football today. We also saw one NFL matchup between the reigning Super Bowl champion Eagles and a rising Bears team. Chicago really shaping up into a team that can make a playoff run, looking to extend their 4-game win streak. They would scratch the board first with DeAndre Swift to the right for the score. Bears 7. Eagles, nothing. This would be a low-scoring affair until the fourth quarter, when the Bears would run up their number again with Kyle Monangai over the goal line to make it an 8-point game. But it would be this throw from Williams to Cole Kmet that would put the Bears just out of reach for the Eagles, as they would go up 24-9. And the defense would hold up and seal the win 24-15. We'll be right back after the break.
9 Sports.
What's poppin', Siouxland? Welcome to Sports Morningside. Took a trip out to the Gem State today as they took on the College of Idaho in the second round of the NAIA playoffs. First postseason game for the number 9 Mustangs after finishing the season winning the GPAC. The number 8 Yotes looking to keep the wins coming. Morningside would fall behind early, but find the end zone again in the fourth quarter with Max Huff up the middle to make it a 23-13 ball game. One drive later, Chevalier would drop back and find Drew Sellen from 33 yards out The big score makes it interesting. College of Idaho now only up by 4. But after a few more Yotes scores, the College of Idaho would pull away and win 37-19, ending the Mustangs' season. Meanwhile, over in Indianapolis, number 10 Dordt defenders took on the number 6 Marion Knights. Dordt would be shut out until the third quarter when this Knights PAT would be blocked and picked up by Colson Queering, who would return it 97 yards all the way to the house. Finally put some wind behind the defenders' sails to make it a 20-2 ball game. Dordt with the ball after another Knights score on 4th and 8. Noah Strickfade would huck it to Rhett Williams, who would catch it in stride with one hand, walk in for the 57-yard catch and score. Now 26-10 Knights. Strickfade would find another late score in the 4th to keep it close. Cole Snyder with the catch, but it was too tall of a task. Marion drops Dordt 26-18. And Vermilion, the number 11 Yotes, hosted their first round of the FCS playoffs against Drake. USD with the ball tied at 10. Call upon LJ Phillips Jr. on the goal line, and he'd give them the lead again. Later, this pass would go to the distance to extend the Yotes lead. Huge touchdown for USD as they begin to pull away. Yotes would dominate this one and win 38-17 and now move on to the second round to play number 6 Mercer.
I think our game plan is usually just whatever it takes. You know, I don't think we're ever going into a certain week thinking we're going to run or pass the ball more. It's just whatever we need to do to win. And, you know, a lot of guys stepped up today in a big way. Obviously, Renzo and a lot of other guys, you know, good protection up front. You know, LJ still had a really great game running the ball, really physical. And defense stepped up a lot today, too. So, overall, great team win.
The Huskers and Hawkeyes duked it out Friday, so that leaves the Cyclones this week in the Sooner State. On the road, taking on Oklahoma State. A dreadful season for the Cowboys, just 1-10 overall. Skip to the second quarter to the air. Rocco Besch finds Chase Sowell, 16-yard touchdown. 94 yards passing for Rocco. Cyclones, 10-0. Third quarter, big play strikes. Abu Sama is loose, 40 yards for the back. Cyclones rush for 231 yards as a team total, and they go up 17-7. Now late third, now 17-10. Defense steps up. Drew Surges picks off Zane Flores. Iowa State up 7 after 3. 2 more field goals would give us our final score, 20-13. Cyclones get the dub and now wait for Selection Sunday. Now, finally, to end our sports day, the undefeated Nebraska volleyball team hosted Ohio State for their regular season match. Taylor Landfair puts set 1 to bed here with this kill. Nebraska takes the lead 1-0. Buckeyes never stood a chance this serve at set point. Underestimated Campo Flynn scores on the ace to win set 2. Set 3 would be closer, but still no cigar for Ohio State. Bergen Riley with the nasty tap over closes this one out. The Huskers complete their 6th undefeated season in program history, winning 3 sets to none. Now, that will do it for sports, but before we go to break, I'd like to take a second to shout out a good Samaritan I had the honor of meeting today. As I was driving back to the station from Buena Vista for a shoot, some black ice got the best of me, and I slid off the freeway into the ditch below along the eastbound lane. I was stuck and in need of help. Several drove by until one blue Jeep stopped and my rescue had arrived. Shout out to Nick Schultzen of Kingsley, Iowa for lending a helping hand and winching my helpless news car out of the snow. Thanks again, Nick, and hopefully the next time we meet, you won't be dragging me from a ditch. That'll be it for sports. We'll see you guys after the break.
KCAU 9 Sports.
What's poppin', Siouxland? Welcome to sports. The Cyclones finished their seasons on a high, beating Oklahoma State 20-13. They now look to see where they place come bowl season.
You know, this team, the challenges, the adversity that it faced, to start off the way we did with some of the unique challenges that we had never faced. And then to, almost be paralyzed a little bit after that Arizona game, which is some of the things, and it just became a roller coaster of challenges. And for this group to never waver, never flinch, and actually just keep getting better through it is incredible. What a great testament to their belief and their ability to stay the course. And, they've given themselves a chance to do what very few teams here at Iowa State have done.
The Cyclones and many other programs now wait until December 7th for the College Football Playoff Selection Show to learn what bowl game they will compete in. Now, we are well into Week 13 of the NFL season, and the Vikings are in Seattle taking on the Seahawks defense. Last time I checked, I believe the Seahawks were actually up 19-0 on the Vikings, but we'll have highlights on that game when we get back at 10 tonight. Now, later tonight, we'll have the Broncos taking on the Commanders for Sunday Night Football. The Broncos, at 9 wins, look to keep it going in D.C. as the Commanders continue to spiral after the injury of Jaden Daniels. Broncos defensive coordinator Vance Joseph says he can't ever write them out, though.
Well, they have good players. You know, when you watch this offense play, they have good players, and they've been good for a long time. They were really a good football team last year, and it's very similar. The quarterback obviously has been injured, so that's kind of held them back a little bit, but they have good skill. So it won't be an easy out. It's an NFL game, it's an NFL team. You know, both teams are playing for something, and it's never easy. So playing our best is a must.
You can catch these two teams duke it out Sunday Night Football at 7:20 p.m. Now, finally, how about the Bears? Chicago looks to be in the NFC North favorite for the first time since 2018 when they finished 12-4. Now sitting at 9-3 after beating the reigning Super Bowl champion Eagles, they take the throne as first in the NFC North. Reporter Caitlin Sharkey has more.
The run game, a huge part of this win, and that had to be the identity. That was the game plan going in for Ben Johnson and Kyle Monangai and DeAndre Swift, obviously making history with 200-yard rushers for the first time since '85. This team converted a season-high 10 third downs. They also had 47 carries, most in a non-overtime game since 1995. So they wanted to establish the run early. Caleb Williams, not the flashiest of performances, but he didn't need to have that. And defensively, they did everything they needed to do. They had Kyler Gordon back. They had Jalen Johnson back, 2 takeaways. Kevin Byard now leading the league with 6 interceptions. So this is the most complete game they've said they felt they've played all season long, and now they're at 9-3. But if you're asking about statement wins, there's some mixed emotions about that.
These guys should feel pretty good about what they just did. You know, it's hard to go on the road and beat a good team like that. And yet, I think they still know we have got to get back to work next week.
Going on the road to a hostile environment, getting a win in Philly, obviously against the reigning Super Bowl champions, it was huge for us. And obviously, you always treat every game like just another game, but I will say it meant just a little bit more.
I think every single game that we want to play and that we play, it is to make a statement. And that's just another game for us. Focus on being 1-0 each week.
Like you send a message to the league?
A message?
I mean, you're in prime time against the defending Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
And put it on them pretty good.
We for real.
So next up, this team, whether or not they made a statement or not beating the defending champions, will get ready to face the Packers in Green Bay in Week 14. Right now, they're currently the 2 seed in the NFC playoff picture, so things are looking up for Ben Johnson's football team. But Caleb Williams saying, too, he doesn't believe this team has reached its pinnacle yet, and Ben Johnson believes his team will play their best football in December.
Earlier today, the number 6 Iowa State wrestling team hosted number 3 Iowa for the Cy-Hawk dual meet. The Hawkeyes have won this meet every year for the last 20 years. Some of the kids on this team weren't even born yet the last time Iowa State won. In the duel, the Cyclones held a 16-9 advantage in takedowns. MJ Gayden here recorded his biggest career win, taking on Patrick Kennedy in the first tiebreaker. It would be back and forth until Gayden would ride out the final seconds in the lead to help secure the win. Cyclones upset the Hawkeyes and snap their 20-year win streak. Now, many Siouxland's favorite NFL teams already played earlier this week for Thanksgiving and the day after, but we still had 2 slated today. First, the Vikings taking a trip to Seattle. Sam Darnold taking on his former team. Vikings looking to get back to their winning ways. But it's going to have to wait. Minnesota struggled on offense, to say the least. Vikings turning to quarterback Max Brosmer as McCarthy is still not cleared from concussion protocol. Brosmer throws 4 interceptions, including this pick 6. Justin Jefferson only 2 catches for 4 yards. Now, the bright spot was the defense, sacking Darnold 4 times and punching the ball out twice. But even if defense wins championships, offense still wins games. Vikings lose 26-0. Now, currently, Sunday Night Football is wrapping up, and at last check, the Broncos were leading 20-17 in the 4th quarter. Now, last but not least, let's take a look at our Sports Zone top 5 plays of the week. Because the holidays, it was a super busy week, but we still had some great plays. Starting with number 5, Westwood girls basketball team blowing out Galen Catholic. Decides to have a little bit of fun. And they spend a few possessions searching for that 3 to give the people what they want. There you go. 6-7. Number 4 keeps us on the court, this time on the cliff. Taylor Sodman with the quick moves to recover and toss to Ella Renault, who finishes with a nice layup. Number 3 takes us to the Dakota Dome as the Yotes take on Drake, and Aiden Bowman finds Lorenzo Fenner in the end zone. He makes the crossbody grab while under contact. Touchdown, Yotes. Number 2 goes to Dordt, where down late in some winter weather, Noah Strickfade would hit Rhett Williams. Williams, in tight coverage, hauls it in with one hand and shoves a man off and races towards the end zone. Big score there for Dordt down late in that game. But our number 1 play comes from the same game. Just a little while earlier, this PAT was blocked and recovered by Colson Queering of the defenders, who would return it 97 yards for the 2 points, giving Dordt a little bit of wind under its sails. That'll do it for our top 5 plays and for sports. Husker football team finished their season with a 7-5 record, going only 4-5 in conference. With the injury of Dylan Raiola and lackluster defensive play, head coach Matt Rhule decided to address one of those issues earlier today. In a Monday morning presser, Rhule announced the firing of defensive coordinator John Butler. This was Butler's first season in the role, and under him, the Blackshirts ranked 23rd in total defense. Pass defense was 2nd in the nation, but rushing was 95th with 171 yards averaged per game. This contributed to them being 53rd in scoring defense. So now, for the 2nd season in a row, Big Red looks for a new Secretary of Defense. Some big news for 9 South Dakota football players as they received all-conference selections in the Missouri Valley Football Conference. First up, LJ Phillips, who broke out this season after stepping into the starting role in Week 3 due to team injuries. One of the top FCS running backs this season with over 1,500 yards this season, posting 800-yard games and 4 games with multiple scores. He earned himself not only first team all-conference, but second as well for all-purpose yards. Now joining him in first team is DB Mike Munn. Munn earned his starting role this season as a sophomore and was tied for second in the conference with 3 interceptions while taking 5th in passing breakups with 11. He also had 3 tackles for a loss and a forced fumble. In second team, we see the first-time starting wideout Lorenzo Fenner, who snagged 11 touchdown grabs this year. Along with him is Amarion Krim, who proved to be an anchor at left tackle in his first season at USD. On the other side of the trench is Caden Crawford with 9 TFLs and 3.5 sacks. Also, can't forget DeJuan Lewis, who's responsible for 3 turnovers. Now, there were 3 honorable mentions also made the cut with QB1 Aiden Bowman, O-lineman Adrian Hawkins, and linebacker Nate Ewell. Congrats to these guys and good luck as the Yotes head to Mercer for round 2 of the FCS playoffs. Tonight was opening tip-off for Iowa High School boys basketball. Tonight we start the season with 2 schools beginning our journey over in Hinton. Hinton looking for a strong start, taking on the Generals from Sibley Ocheyedan. Sibley Ocheyedan's Gage Greenfield with the board. Then some nice transition up the court, ending with Gavin Stanton getting the bucket and the foul to opening the night's score. But Hinton would answer back as Will Hagstrom finds some space behind the arch, and he doesn't miss when he's that open. Later in the quarter, Logan Kempa brings it in up the court and takes it to the rack for the lay-in. Blackhawks would take a 10-point lead to the second and go on to win it 57-27. Meanwhile, down Highway 20, Lawton Bronson was hosting Galen Catholic for their home opener. Jays would win the tip and score quickly on a mid-range jumper from Nolan Teal to get things going for Galen. But the home team would answer right back. Nice ball movement and lands in the hands of big Cole Wagner. Takes a dribble before taking a shot from beyond the arc, and it's good for 3. A little while later in the first half, Jays would get it over to Mason Small, and he's anything but small. He would box out the Lawton defense and drop it in the bucket to extend their lead. Galen would take care of business in this one, though, winning 59-41. Over on the girls' side, number 1 Hinton looking to continue their dominance after the holiday break. First quarter, the Generals' Becca Wooler left open on the side, and she'll hit nothing but net to make it an early 2-2 tie. But it would all Hinton from there on the transition, and Addison Glass knocking down the 3-pointer to start the Blackhawks run. Later, Glass on the inbound to Bailey Bove. She'll put it up and in the harm. Hinton would the first quarter on a 33 run. Hinton takes the sweep as the girls cruise to a 83-13 win. Lady Eagles of Lawton Bronson, though, also hosted the Jays. Both teams still searching for that first win. This one out of hand early for Galen Catholic. But check out Bree Jessen here, though. She's going to steal this pass, go ahead and score. But she's not done yet. She's going to keep heads-up play. Stealing this inbound pass again, keeping it inbounds, gets it to the hands of Jaylee Quaker, who sinks it with the and one. Jays tried to keep it close, but just could not get control of this one. Lawton Bronson finds their first win at home, rolling past Galen Catholic 61-27. As you can see behind me, the Northwestern volleyball team made their way down Highway 75 to Sioux City yesterday to get ready for the NAIA Women's Volleyball Championship in the Tyson Event Center over the next few days. The number 3 ranked Red Raiders receive the 2nd seed in the tournament, get placed in Pool B, where they will play 15th seeded Aquinas and 23-seeded Lewis Clark State, who will be their first opponent as well tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. The road to this point, the Red Raiders went 29-3, all 3 of those losses to NAIA tournament teams. They also went undefeated in conference play, winning the GPAC title. 3 of those GPAC foes also made the tournament. We'll be covering the tournament all week, and we'll have highlights right here on KC9 Sports. Now, the AUSL, or the Athletes Unlimited Softball League, launched earlier this summer, creating opportunities for the world's best softball players to compete at a professional level, and is financially partnered with the MLB to help grow the league. Yesterday was an expansion draft to fill 2 new teams to the original 4. 2 familiar faces will be playing for new teams. First was former Husker standout Billy Andrews. The infielder was taken in the 4th round at number 19 to join the brand new Oklahoma City Spark. Very decorated career at Nebraska, Williams was a 3-time first-team All-Big Ten player, a member of the Big Ten All-Freshman team, and holds 4 Nebraska records, including career home runs at 61 and multi-home run games at 8. Only a few picks later, ex-Cyclone infielder Sammy Williams heard her name called to join one of the league's inaugural teams, the Bandits. In her time at Iowa State, Williams earned a first-team All-American honors, was a 3-time All-Big 12 first-teamer, and was on the All-Big 12 freshman team. She also broke the Big 12 record for career hits with 332. You can catch these 2 and many others in action when the season begins in 2026. Good morning, Siouxland. It was a busy night of high school sports last night, so let's get into it. Starting just down the road at Sioux City East for some girls basketball. Black Raiders hosted Spencer. Both teams coming off a win, looking for their 2nd. East begins pulling away in the 4th quarter with the help of Jaylee Jackson. This drive finished with a smooth layup to put the Raiders up 58-44. Tigers looking to change the pace, get the rock to Avery McEntee, takes a shot, and after a bounce, it drops in to cut into that deficit. But their efforts were not met with reward. Sioux City East takes the win at home 63-51. Now let's move over to the boys' half. First quarter, there's going to be a missed shot. It's rebounded by East. Naif Youssef makes a smooth bounce pass to Jack Oman, puts it up, and in the opening score. Later on, Fami Youssef with the steal. Black Raiders on the transition. Pass goes to Christopher Loggins, who'll make a circus move for the layup, and it goes in. Jump ahead a few minutes. East up by 6. Shot by Spencer is no good, but Tate Von Wagen showing some hustle to save the ball, and he'd get rewarded as he hits the short jumper. It would be a back-and-forth battle, but it's the Black Raiders coming out on top, 59-53. Then we head over to Woodbury Central, where the Wildcats host the Raiders from East Sac County. Raiders in the attack. This pass intercepted by Joe Dessinger. He's going to keep it and go coast to coast and drop in a nice floater right into the basket to keep the scoring going for the Wildcats. A little while later, though, inbound pass. Wildcats look to shoot, but it's blocked. Recovered by Grayson Rubendahl. What a play by him. Parker Phipps would see that and want some of that pickpocket action. Get it to Grayson Lloyd, who'd cash in with the nice layup. Wildcats would run away with their season opener, 52-35. Girls also won their game, so clean sweep at home for the home opener. And that will do it for your daily sports. Y'all have a fantastic day, Siouxland, and stay warm.